Owen Brooks built a biotech empire in San Diego, but success came at a cost: loneliness and a love he lost in college. One sunny afternoon at a bustling craft market, a young boy selling handmade soap bars suddenly shouts, "Dad!" Owen freezes, the word cutting through years of silence. The boy's name is Noah, curious, bright-eyed, and the spitting image of the woman Owen never stopped loving. As the scent of sea salt soap lingers in the air, Owen's heart pounds. Could this boy be his son? Behind Noah's warm smile hides a secret. Ava, Owen's ex, was forced to keep after a betrayal from within Owen's own family. Guilt bubbles up. Regret crashes in. Now, Owen must choose. Will he retreat to the cold safety of his lab, or embrace the mess and miracle of rediscovery? What truth lies behind that soap bar Noah crafted with care, and can it wash away years of pain? One child's cry, one handcrafted bar, could spark a family's healing. Subscribe to see this heartfelt story unfold. Don't miss a single moment of truth, tears, and redemption. The ocean breeze carried the scent of citrus and salt through the open-air market, winding between rows of handmade candles, ceramic mugs, and rainbow-colored fruit stands. Owen Brooks adjusted the cuff of his crisp blazer as he moved through the crowd, trying to ignore the heat creeping up his collar. San Diego's Saturday market wasn't his usual scene, but his assistant had insisted he get some air. "Walk among people," she'd said. "You used to like that." He didn't. Not anymore. At 42, Owen was the face of Brooks Biotech, brilliant, clean-cut, and always alone. His lab was his sanctuary. Everything outside it felt hollow. He passed a booth where a man carved wooden pens, another where a girl offered lavender lemonade. Then came the soap stand. It was small, just a folding table, a sun-faded banner that read Noah's Naturals, and a dozen tiny soap bars arranged in perfect lines. Each one had a small tag with hand-scrawled descriptions: coconut breeze, lemon thyme, ocean stone. Owen barely slowed, until a voice rang out, clear, high, and close. "Dad?" He froze. The crowd moved around him like a tide, unaware that time had stopped. Slowly, Owen turned. A boy stood behind the table, no older than 10, freckles, big brown eyes, a streak of soap dust across one cheek. His hand was still raised, halfway through a wave. But now those eyes were wide with fear, as if he hadn't meant to say it out loud. "I'm sorry," the boy stammered. I thought you were someone else." Owen didn't move, couldn't speak. The boy looked away quickly and busied himself with stacking soap, but his hands trembled. Owen finally found his voice. "What's your name?" "Noah," the boy said without looking up. Noah. The name hit like a wave. His chest tightened. "These soaps? Did you make them?" "Mostly. My mom helps sometimes." The boy's tone turned proud. "This one's mine." He handed over a small blue bar, swirled with white like sea foam. "What's it called?" Owen asked. "Pacific Sky." Owen brought it to his nose. It smelled like memory. Salt, driftwood, something clean and honest. "How much?" The boy hesitated. $2? Owen handed him a 20. "Keep the change." Noah's face lit up. "Thanks, mister." Owen nodded once, then stepped back into the crowd, but not before glancing over his shoulder. The boy was still watching him, soap in hand, uncertain. Back at his penthouse that night, Owen stared at the soap bar on his kitchen counter. He hadn't been able to put it down. He ran his thumb over the little carved letters, P.S., just like the initials he once engraved in the sand with Ava years ago, the last day they ever saw each other. He picked up his phone. For a moment, he hovered over her name. Ava. She still lived in San Diego, that much he knew. But he never called. He opened an old folder on his tablet. College photos. Ava, laughing, barefoot in his hoodie, her hands stained with paint from her art studio. He'd loved her, fiercely, and then he'd left. Or had he? A knock at the door startled him. He wasn't expecting anyone. When he opened it, Carl stood there, his older brother, always showing up at the worst times, dressed like a stockbroker with something to hide. "Didn't expect you," Owen muttered. "Just checking in," Carl said smoothly. "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." Owen narrowed his eyes. "Just a long day." Carl's gaze landed on the soap bar. He picked it up, turned it over in his hand. "Cute. Kid stuff." Owen took it back. "I like it." Carl chuckled. "Well, don't get sentimental. You have a shareholders' call Monday. Focus." But Owen's mind was already far from the boardroom. That night, as the moon lit the Pacific outside his glass windows, Owen placed the bar of Pacific sky by the sink. Something about it pulled at him. Something real, something he had to understand, even if it broke him. The next morning, Owen arrived at his San Diego lab earlier than usual. The glass doors hissed open, revealing rows of microscopes, humming, centrifuges, and whiteboards scribbled with genetic formulas. But his mind wasn't on enzymes or trials. It was on a little boy at a soap stall, and the way he'd said, "Dad." "Good morning, Mr. Brooks," his assistant called out. Owen nodded, but didn't stop. He stepped into his corner office, shut the door behind him, and pulled out his phone. His fingers hovered over Ava's name again. 10 years. And still, one message could shatter the walls he'd built. He didn't call. Instead, he opened his laptop, searched Noah's Naturals. A few listings popped up, photos of small tables at weekend markets. One review. "Sweet kid. Best soap in the city. His mom says he does it all himself." His chest tightened. His mom. That afternoon, Owen returned to the market. Same place, same stall. But it wasn't Noah behind the table. It was her. Ava. She looked older, but beautiful still. Auburn hair tied back, sleeves rolled to the elbow, a faint smear of lavender soap on her wrist. When she saw him, her smile dropped. "Owen?" He took a step closer. "Hi." She blinked hard. "What are you doing here?" "I bought some soap yesterday." He lifted the bar from his coat pocket. "This one." Her eyes softened, just for a second. "Noah made that." "I figured." Silence stretched between them, tangled with years they'd never spoken. "I didn't expect to see you again," she said quietly. "I didn't expect to be called Dad by a 10-year-old who looks exactly like me." Ava's lips parted, but no sound came. Owen's voice dropped. "Is he mine?" Ava looked down, hands trembling as she adjusted the soap bars. "We need to talk somewhere else." They sat later on a bench facing the beach. Noah was gone, at a friend's, Ava had said, and the soap stall packed for the day. Seagulls wheeled overhead. The ocean hissed and pulled. "I would have told you," Ava said at last, "but Carl, he came to me after we broke up." Owen frowned. "Carl?" "He said you didn't want the baby, that you'd moved on, that telling you would ruin everything you were building." Owen froze. "That's a lie." "I didn't know. I was alone. I believed him." Her voice cracked, and by the time I realized the truth, too many years had passed. Owen stood up abruptly, pacing. "He told you I didn't want my own child? Why would he—" Ava's eyes welled. "You have no idea what your family is capable of, Owen. Carl saw you as a threat. To your company, to his inheritance. I didn't want to believe it then. I do now." Owen sat back down, stunned. "My son," he whispered. "I missed 10 years. I tried to give him everything," she said. "Love, stability, but he's been asking about you since he was 6. Drawing pictures, leaving one at your company's mailbox last year." Owen flinched. He hadn't seen it. Or maybe Carl had intercepted that too. Ava handed him something from her bag. A drawing. A man in a lab coat. A boy with freckles. Underneath, in bold marker, it read, "My dad makes medicine and soap." Owen stared at it, his throat tightening. "He thinks I'm a good man. He wants to know you," and the wind shifted. Sand blew across their shoes. Owen turned to her, voice low. "I want to know him too." Ava nodded slowly. "Then we take this slow, for his sake. I'll do whatever it takes." She studied him, eyes searching for the man she once loved. "Then start with Saturday. We make soap together at the park. Come if you mean it." Owen looked down at the soap bar in his hand. Pacific sky. He nodded. "I'll be there." The park on Saturday was alive with color. Paper lanterns swung from tree branches, laughter echoed near the splash pad, and folding tables lined the grassy field like a patchwork of creativity. In the far corner, under a blue canopy, stood a small wooden sign. Noah's Naturals. Soap with soul. Owen parked 2 blocks away. He didn't want to make a scene. Not yet. He wore jeans this time, no blazer, no title. Just a nervous man carrying a paper bag with a book inside, one he used to read with Ava in college. The Art of Chemistry, still marked with her sticky notes and underlines. He spotted them before they saw him. Noah stood on a milk crate, mixing oil into a steel bowl with exaggerated care. Ava was beside him, tying twine around finished bars. Her face was relaxed, lit by sunlight and purpose. Owen's steps slowed. "Hey," he called out gently. Noah looked up, wide-eyed. "You came." Owen smiled. "I said I would." The boy jumped off the crate and ran over, holding out his hands, which were covered in blue-green soap batter. "Want a stir?" Owen hesitated. "I might mess it up." Noah grinned. "It's okay. I mess it up all the time." That was all it took. Owen stepped behind the table, rolled up his sleeves, and leaned over the bowl. The scent of eucalyptus and ocean salt hit him instantly. He stirred carefully, watching as the mixture thickened. Ava passed him a towel. "You clean up better than I thought." He glanced at her. "I brought something for you." She looked down at the bag, hesitating. "What is it?" "Something from before. From when we're still us." She slowly opened the bag, pulling out the old chemistry book. Her breath caught. "You kept this?" Owen nodded. "Every move I've made in my life started in that classroom. With you." Noah peeked inside. "That book looks ancient." Owen laughed. "It is." They worked side by side for the next hour. Customers came and went. Some bought, some chatted. Noah proudly explained every cent, every ingredient. He handed Owen a tiny star mold and whispered, "This one's the secret shape, only for the best batches." "Then we better make this one count," Owen said, pouring carefully. Mid-afternoon, Noah tugged on his shirt sleeve. "Want to see something cool?" "Sure." He led Owen past the tables to a clearing near the bluff where the ocean was visible. Behind a boulder, Noah had set up a little cardboard structure, walls lined with soap carvings. "This is my soap fort," he announced. "I come here when I need to think." Owen bent to look closer. On the inside wall was a single bar with seashells embedded in it. Underneath, written in marker, "My dad will come when the sky smells like salt again." Owen stared, his voice barely above a whisper. "You made this?" Noah nodded. "The smells help me remember stuff." "That smell?" Owen picked up the soap. "It's just like the one you gave me." Noah's eyes flickered. "That was my hoping soap." Owen placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "I think it worked." They sat for a while just watching the water. Owen finally asked, "Did your mom ever talk about me?" "Sometimes," Noah said. "She said you were smart, and that you loved her once." Owen swallowed hard. "I still do, and I wish I had known about you sooner." Noah turned to him. Are you going to disappear again? Owen shook his head. Not if you'll have me around, the boy considered, then reached into his pocket and handed Owen a tiny bar, his smallest yet, shaped like a heart. It's my forgiveness soap, Noah said simply. Only one I ever made. Owen took it, tears catching in his throat. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The ocean breeze blew through the clearing, and for the first time in a decade, Owen Brooks felt clean. Owen returned to his lab Monday morning, but his thoughts never left the coast. The scent of eucalyptus still lingered on his hands, and Noah's small voice, "It's my forgiveness soap," echoed louder than any board meeting. He stared at his office window, the San Diego skyline stretching past layers of glass and ambition. But for once, success felt quiet, empty. He opened his laptop and typed, Ava Montgomery, San Diego County Records. A few entries surfaced. Soap permits, artisan licenses, a small non-profit name, Clean Start Kids. He clicked it. There was a mission statement. We teach kids to make soap and clean their path forward. He exhaled. Then he typed something else. Carl Brooks, Legal Holdings. The results came fast. Too fast. Land acquisitions, stock maneuvers, suspicious transfers under shell LLCs. And then, his heart stopped, a memo Carl had sent to Owen's old college email 10 years ago. One Owen never saw. He clicked. The message opened. Ava's keeping the baby. Says it's yours. Don't worry. I handled it. Told her you were done with her. Trust me. This is better for you. Owen stood, heart pounding. Carl had intercepted the message, lied, manipulated. And for what? Control. His phone buzzed. Carl, as if on cue. Hey, little brother, Carl said smoothly. Big merger call tonight. You in? Owen stared at the screen. Carl, we need to talk. Sure. About the merger? No. About 10 years ago. About Ava. About Noah. There was silence. Then Carl chuckled. Wow. Took you long enough. What did you do? I did what needed to be done, Carl said. You were about to blow up your future for a summer fling and a maybe baby. I kept you focused. You're welcome. Owen's voice dropped. You robbed me of a decade. Carl sighed. You're still CEO, still a billionaire. So, what if a few things got trimmed on the way? Owen hung up. He didn't scream. He didn't throw anything. He just walked to the corner of his office, opened a drawer, and pulled out a small tin box. Inside was the bar of Pacific Sky, sea-scented, imperfect, handmade. He held it in both hands like it meant something sacred. Because it did. That night, Owen stood in front of Ava's apartment door. He knocked twice. She opened, surprised. Owen? He held up the memo on his phone. I found this. Carl sent it. 10 years ago. She read it. Her face turned pale. I didn't know, he said. I never got your message. I never rejected you. Or him. Her hands trembled as she held the phone. I thought, he made it sound so certain. I would have stayed, Ava. I would have chosen you. Her eyes filled, but she blinked it back. You have to understand. I raised Noah to be strong without you. He's okay. But he deserves the truth, Owen said. We all do. They stood in silence, broken only by the distant sound of waves. Then, from behind her, Noah's voice. Mom? She turned. It's okay, baby. Come here. Noah peeked around the doorway, hair damp, pajamas, slightly too big. Is he staying? Owen knelt to meet his eyes. Only if you want me to. Noah nodded slowly, then grinned. Can we make lemon soap next time? Owen laughed softly. We'll make every kind you want. Ava leaned against the doorframe, watching them. Owen stood. I don't want to be just the guy who visits on Saturdays. "You're not," she said after a pause. "Not anymore." She handed him a small box before he left. "What's this?" "Ava Blend," she said. "Lavender, mint, and forgiveness." He opened it when he got home. Inside, nestled in tissue, was a purple-green bar shaped like a wave. A note taped to the top read, "For the next chapter." Owen held it to his nose, closed his eyes, and breathed deep. The sky outside smelled like salt again. The following weekend, Owen waited near the playground at the park, seated on a bench with the 2 cups of cocoa. It was cloudy but calm, the kind of gray that made colors pop, especially the pale blue hoodie Noah wore as he darted through the soap stall setup with focused joy. Ava arrived minutes later, arms full of labeled jars and twine. She looked over and gave Owen a brief nod, less guarded now, but still cautious. "Morning," Owen said, standing. "Morning," she replied, placing the jars down. "You're early." "I didn't want to miss a second." Noah jogged over, holding something behind his back. "Guess what, Dad?" Owen's chest stirred every time he heard that word. "What?" "I made a new scent," he said proudly, then held up a pale green bar. "It's called Fresh Start. Want to smell?" Owen leaned in. A mix of mint, lime, and something grounding. Cedar, maybe. "That's amazing, Noah. What inspired it?" Noah grinned. "You and us." Ava glanced sideways, lips tight but softening. Later, as they packed a few soap bars into a basket for a donation event, Owen watched Noah work. The boy was focused, steady, confident. But when he wasn't looking, Owen saw the cracks, small hesitations, a glance over his shoulder for approval. That afternoon, after customers thinned out, Noah tugged on Owen's sleeve. "Can I ask something?" "Anything." "Why did you leave Mom before I was born?" Owen froze. Ava's eyes shot over from the corner of the tent. Owen crouched down, his voice quiet. "I didn't know about you, Noah. Someone made sure I didn't." Noah frowned. "Uncle Carl?" Owen blinked. "How do you know about Carl?" Noah shrugged. "He came to our house once, gave Mom an envelope. She cried after he left." Owen stood slowly. Ava turned away, jaw clenched. "I should have told you he came by," she admitted. "I didn't know what he was capable of then." Owen's jaw tightened. "I do now." That night, back at his penthouse, Owen opened a drawer and stared at his mother's watch, another heirloom passed down to him after she passed. He had planned to give it to a son someday. He never thought someday had already come. He brought it to the park the next day, wrapped in velvet. "Noah," he said, kneeling beside him. "This was my mom's. She would have loved you. I want you to have it." Noah opened the box slowly, eyes wide. "It's old." "It's important," Owen said. "It still works, even after all this time." Noah smiled, slipping it on clumsily over his wrist. "I'll wear it when I mix soap, so I don't go over the time." Ava laughed softly from the booth. "He takes timing seriously." "Like his father," Owen murmured. But that moment of warmth shifted when a sleek black car pulled up near the lot. Carl stepped out. Dressed in his tailored suit, sunglasses, and polished shoes, he looked like he didn't belong anywhere near handmade soap or playground laughter. Owen's face darkened. "What is he doing here?" Ava whispered. Carl strolled over, clapping. Well, look at this. Family Day at the park." Owen stepped forward, shielding Noah behind him. "Leave." "Relax," Carl said, raising his hands. "I'm just curious. I thought you had board meetings, strategic expansions. Instead, you're making bath bombs? This is where I belong now," Owen said coldly. Carl's grin faded. "You're risking everything. For what? A second chance with people who lived fine without you?" Owen stepped closer. "No, Carl. You risked everything. You gambled with my life, my son's life, and you lost." Carl's jaw tensed. "Watch yourself." "No, you watch," Owen said, "because I'm done being silent, and I'm not afraid of exposing the truth." Behind him, Noah held the soap bar labeled Fresh Start. His thumb traced the edge, quiet but listening. That bar, small and humble, had become more than just soap. It was trust. It was hope. And Owen Brooks wasn't letting either go. The next morning, Ava paced in her kitchen, hands still damp from washing dishes. Her phone sat on the counter, buzzing with unread messages. Outside the window, Noah played in the driveway, sketching shapes in chalk, swirls, stars, and what looked like soap bars with wings. Owen's car pulled up quietly along the curb. She didn't move to open the door. He let himself in slowly. "I didn't mean for yesterday to go like that," he said. Ava crossed her arms. "You brought a storm into our peace." "No," Owen said gently. "Carl brought that storm 10 years ago. I just stopped pretending it never happened." Ava looked down. "He came back after Noah was born. Threatened me with lawyers if I ever told you. Said he'd destroy your name, the company." Owen blinked. "He threatened you?" She nodded. "I didn't know who to trust." Outside, Noah drew a crooked heart, then a sun above it. Owen stared through the window. "I'm not letting him hurt either of you ever again." Ava's voice softened. "But how? You think exposing Carl won't bring the media to our door? To Noah's door?" Owen hesitated, then reached into his coat. He pulled out a legal envelope and placed it on the table. "Custody?" Ava asked sharply. "No." Owen opened it, revealing a notarized letter. "Acknowledgement of paternity. No demands, no court, just truth and a trust for Noah." Her shoulders relaxed slightly, but her eyes were still wary. "I'm not trying to take him," Owen said. "I just want to be in his life, fully, honestly. And if Carl retaliates, let him," Owen said. "This time, I fight back." That night, Owen returned to his penthouse, but sleep never came. He sat at the edge of his bed, looking out at the lights of San Diego. In his hand, he held a tiny drawing Noah had slipped into his coat pocket earlier, a stick figure in a lab coat holding hands with a boy holding a soap bar. Beneath it, Noah had written, "Us, finally." He placed it gently on his desk beside the Fresh Start bar. The next day, Owen made a call. "Wesley," he said, "I need a full audit on Carl's holdings, every dollar, every deal, and I want it quiet." His CFO didn't ask why, he just said, "Understood." That afternoon, he returned to the market, this time carrying a folding chair, a mixing bowl, and a thermos of Ava's favorite cinnamon tea. She raised an eyebrow when she saw him. "You plan to stay?" "As long as you let me." They worked quietly, elbows bumping, fingers dusted in soap flakes. Noah joined later, giddy with a new idea. "Let's make story soap," he announced. "What's that?" Owen asked. "One bar tells a part of a story. Each layer is a scene. So when people wash, the colors change. Like chapters." Ava smiled. "That's actually brilliant." Owen leaned in. "What's the first story?" Noah beamed. "A boy who made soap alone until someone found him and said, 'Let's make it together.'" Ava went still. Owen cleared his throat. "That sounds like a good beginning." Noah looked between them. "Do you guys even like each other anymore?" There was a beat of silence. Then Ava smirked. "Some days." Owen grinned. "Most days." Noah laughed. "Then let's just keep making soap. That fixes everything." Later, Owen stayed to help clean up. As he wiped down the final table, Ava handed him a wrapped bar of their new blend: vanilla, cinnamon, and coastal sage. "This one's called Balance," she said, "because it's not about starting over, it's about moving forward." He ran his fingers across the label. "Then I'll carry it with me." And he did. That bar sat on his desk the next morning, just beside the audit report labeled Carl Brooks, Misappropriated Funds. Owen didn't blink. The truth was coming, but for the first time, he wasn't alone when it arrived. It was Monday morning when Owen stepped into his lab, but this time his stride wasn't for quarterly projections or board approvals. He carried something different, a purpose heavier than stock performance but lighter on the soul. In his hand was the balance bar Ava had given him, still wrapped in craft paper with a cinnamon string. He set it beside his desk phone like a quiet reminder. Some things matter more than control. "Mr. Brooks," his assistant said, poking in, "Wesley's report is on your desk. Also, your brother called 3 times." Owen didn't flinch. "Don't patch him through." He opened the folder and scanned the report. Wesley's team had traced nearly $3 million siphoned from a dormant R&D fund, reallocated under Carl's name through shadow shell companies. There were signatures, backdated documents, and buried emails from legal staff long gone. Owen shut the folder, then picked up his phone and dialed Ava. "Hey," she answered. "Everything okay?" "I need to ask you something," Owen said, voice tight. "Back when Carl came to you, did he ever mention my mother's trust?" Ava paused. "Yeah. He said it was unstable, that if I brought drama, it could be frozen, that Noah wouldn't see a dime." Owen's hand curled into a fist. "He used my own inheritance as a threat. He scared me," Ava admitted, "but I never touched that money. I didn't want it." "I know," Owen said. "I'm going to fix this, but I need to start asking the right questions." Later that afternoon, Owen parked outside a modest building on the edge of the neighborhood, Harmony House Youth Center. Ava had mentioned it once. It was where she taught weekend soap making before launching Clean Start Kids. Inside, the space smelled of lemongrass and honey. Kids moved from table to table, mixing oils and pouring molds. On one wall hung a giant canvas with children's drawings. In the center, a single picture stood out. Noah standing next to a tall man in a lab coat, both holding bars of soap, a simple line beneath. When Dad showed up, things changed. Owen blinked, throat tight. A volunteer approached. "Can I help you?" "I'm just visiting," Owen said. "My son is Noah." The woman's face lit up. "Oh, he talks about you every week. Said you helped him make Fresh Start. He even told the kids that story's more important than scent." Owen smiled. "That sounds like him." After the session, Noah ran up, face smudged with orange dye. "Dad, you came!" "I wouldn't miss it," Owen said, pulling a handkerchief from his pocket to wipe Noah's cheek. "So, how's the next soap chapter going?" "It's tricky," Noah said seriously. "This one's about telling the truth, even if it's hard." Owen stilled. "That's a brave theme." Noah nodded. "I'm going to call it Reveal." Owen sat beside him. "Then maybe it's time I told you something." Noah listened as Owen carefully explained about Carl, the message that never reached him, the years they both lost. Noah didn't say anything at first. Then he asked, "Do you still love Mom?" Owen looked him in the eyes. "Yes, I never stopped." The boy blinked. "Then don't mess it up again." Owen laughed softly. "That's the plan." That evening, he returned to his lab one last time before what he knew would come next. He took a deep breath, opened the company's board portal, and submitted a motion. Withdraw. Expansion proposal. Redirect $2 million from Growth Fund to Community Youth STEM plus Art Partnerships. He typed one sentence at the bottom, "No formula is complete without heart." And then he signed it. Owen Brooks, CEO, father, soap apprentice. Carl didn't expect Owen to show up at his waterfront condo. The doorbell rang just after sunset, casting long gold reflections over the bay. Carl opened the door wearing a silk robe, wine in hand, the smug smile already creeping across his face. Well, well, the prodigal brother returns. Come to beg for board support? Owen stepped in without a word. He carried a folder under one arm and something else in his jacket. Noah's reveal bar, still unwrapped, its lavender swirl already soft at the edges. "I'm not here to beg," Owen said, his tone steady. "I'm here to end this." Carl chuckled. "End what, exactly? You've got your little family soap stand. I've got the real numbers. You've got $3 million of company money hidden in fake companies," Owen said calmly, placing the folder on the granite counter. "And now, I've got proof." Carl's smirk twitched. Owen opened the folder slowly. Inside were spreadsheets, legal affidavits, internal audit memos. "I traced every transfer, Carl, from the trust fund to Loma Ridge Holdings, right into your personal portfolio. You wouldn't dare." "I would," Owen interrupted, "and I already did. Tomorrow, I'm presenting this to the board, along with your memo to Ava." Carl's jaw flexed. "You think they'll believe her over me?" Owen reached into his pocket and pulled out the reveal bar, placing it gently on the counter. "She didn't write this. Noah did. At 10 years old, he knows more about integrity than you ever will." Carl stared at it. Just soap, and yet somehow heavier than all the numbers in his offshore account. Owen leaned in. "You stole 10 years from my son. You lied to his mother. You tried to erase a family before it ever had a chance." Carl scoffed, reaching for his wine. "You're being sentimental." "No," Owen said. "I'm being a father." There was a long pause. Then Carl shrugged. "Let's say this sticks. I resign. You get the company. What's the big win?" Owen stared at him. "The win is waking up and knowing I didn't become you." Carl raised his glass. "Then enjoy your moral high ground. It's a lonely view." Owen turned to leave but stopped at the door. "Oh, and Carl," he said over his shoulder, "Noah's drawing hangs in my office now. Stick figures, lab coats, and a bar of soap between us. You're not in it." Carl didn't respond. Back home, Owen walked into his living room where Ava and Noah were finishing dinner. Candlelight flickered between them, and the smell of roasted garlic filled the air. Noah looked up. "Did you talk to Uncle Carl?" Owen knelt beside him. "I did. And I told him the truth finally matters more than his deals." Noah pushed a paper toward him. Another drawing. This one showed 3 people holding a soap bar together. The caption read, "The Real Team." Owen picked it up, smiling softly. "This one's my favorite." Ava sat across from them, arms folded gently over her lap. "What happens now?" Owen looked at her, then at Noah. "I go to the board tomorrow. Carl's stepping down. I'm reallocating his entire bonus package to Clean Start Kids." Ava's eyes widened. "Owen, It's the least I can do," he said. "That fund was built on lies. It should serve truth." She didn't answer right away, just reached out and squeezed his hand as the candlelight danced on the table. Owen placed the reveal bar in the center. A symbol, a bridge, a promise. Tomorrow would bring fallout. But tonight, at this small table, redemption had already begun. The boardroom was silent. 12 executives stared at the report Owen had laid before them, its cover stamped with 3 words: fraud, misuse, resignation. He stood at the head of the polished oak table, no tie, sleeves rolled, eyes clear. Behind him, the San Diego skyline blinked under the noon sun. "This company was built on truth," Owen said. "And somewhere along the way, we forgot that." He flipped a page. "Carl redirected millions into false accounts, and for 10 years he manipulated not just numbers, but lives, including mine. Some heads turned, others shifted uncomfortably. "I'm not asking you to forgive," Owen continued. "I'm asking you to help us heal. That means cleaning house, starting with redirecting Carl's discretionary fund to launch a national arts and STEM initiative, beginning right here in San Diego." He paused, pulled something from his coat. It was Noah's drawing, the one with the stick figures and the soap bar between them. "I used to think impact was measured in patents and profit, but this is the kind of legacy I want." Murmurs moved around the table, a few nods. Then the chairman cleared his throat. "All in favor?" Hands rose, unanimous. It was done. That evening, Owen skipped the victory dinner. Instead, he pulled into a small community center lot, the same one where Ava and Noah had been testing batches of a new citrus soap blend. He walked through the double doors, greeted by the warm scent of bergamot and honey. Noah looked up from the corner, hands slick with oils. "Dad, we got the city grant." "Already?" Owen smiled. "That was fast." Ava turned from the back counter, eyebrows raised. "They called this morning. Said your foundation backed the rest." Owen shrugged. "Didn't seem right to wait." Noah ran over, holding a squishy blue bar. "I named this one Hope Suds. Want to try?" Owen accepted it, the scent strong and bright. "Smells like summer." "It's going to be part of our first official kit," Noah said, beaming. "We're giving them to every kid who signs up for our class." "That's a great idea," Owen said. "But I was thinking we go bigger." Ava tilted her head. "How big?" "A whole building," Owen said. "Soap crafting, science labs, art rooms, all funded by us, by Clean Start." Ava blinked. "You're serious?" "I already bought the old florist's warehouse near the marina," Owen said, handing her the deed packet. "It'll be ready by summer." She held the folder with both hands, silent. Noah tugged on his dad's sleeve. "So, wait. We're skipping the new lab wing for this?" Owen nodded. "Some things matter more than expansions." "But," Noah frowned, "what about the investors?" "They'll live," Owen said, "and if they don't, I'll find new ones who believe in more than numbers." Ava stepped closer. "Owen." He turned to her, voice low. "You once told me Noah needed stability. I want to give him that. Not just with money, but with my time, my hands, my heart." She didn't say anything, just reached for his hand and squeezed. Noah interrupted, holding up a tiny mold. "Also, we need help pouring. This one's tricky." Owen chuckled. "I'm on it, boss." As they gathered around the table, mixing scents and colors, laughter filled the room. It wasn't perfect. The soap mix spilled. Someone knocked over a lavender bottle. But it was real. And as Owen looked down at the label Noah had scribbled on the newest bar, built together, he felt something he hadn't in years. Peace. One batch, one bond, one bar at a time. The wind rolled gently off the coast as Owen leaned against the railing of Ava's small apartment balcony. Below, streetlights blinked on one by one, casting long shadows across the quiet block. Inside, Noah was busy at the table, wrapping the last few bars of soap for a local fundraiser. "You sure you're not too tired to do this again tomorrow?" Ava asked from behind, arms crossed over her cardigan. Owen smiled softly. "Tired, yes, but I wouldn't trade it." She stepped beside him. "He's different now, lighter, like he trusts the world again." "I'm still earning that," Owen said, then glanced back through the glass. "But I think he's letting me try." A moment passed between them. Not rushed, not fragile, just full. Then, from inside, "Hey, Dad!" Noah called. Owen turned. "Yeah, bud?" The boy jogged over, holding something behind his back. "Close your eyes." He obeyed. "Okay, open." Noah held out a seafoam green bar of soap with the streaks of white and silver. "It's for you," he said. "I call it Forgive Tide. It smells like salt water and fresh start." Owen took it carefully, as if it might dissolve in his hands. The scent hit him immediately, clean, crisp, like memory and hope. Noah continued, "I wanted it to smell like the beach that first day. You looked confused, but also like maybe you were remembering something good." Owen swallowed hard. "I was. I still, Tametu." He crouched to meet Noah's eyes. "This is the best gift I've ever gotten," Noah grinned. "Even better than the board voting you in again?" "Way better," Ava chuckled. "Glad we've got our priorities in order." Later that evening, the three of them sat cross-legged on the living room rug, assembling gift boxes for the fundraiser. Each box had a label, a note, and a tiny wooden charm Noah insisted on tying by hand. "We should do a family soap line," Noah said, threading a string. "You know, like Dad's Deep Clean, Mom's Calm Rinse, and Noah's Sudden Genius." Owen laughed. "I'd buy all three." Ava looked at him across the flickering candlelight. "You already did, just not with money." The next morning, Owen drove Noah to school for the first time. No cameras, no chauffeur, just them and a box of soaps for the class science fair. As they pulled up, Noah hesitated. "Hey, Dad?" "Yeah? You're coming to the fair this time, right? Not just sending stuff?" Owen turned the engine off. "I'll be in the front row." Noah nodded, satisfied, then grabbed the box and ran toward the gates. From the passenger seat, the Forgive Tide bar sat wrapped in a napkin, nestled in the glove box. That afternoon, Ava met Owen on the school lawn under a tree where kids ran wild in laughter. "Your son just explained emulsification using orange zest and a third-grade pun," she said, laughing. "He owned the room." Owen beamed. "He gets that from you." "No," she said. "He gets that because you showed up." As the sun dipped low, painting the clouds peach and coral, Noah ran up, soap box now empty. "Guess what?" he panted. "They want me to teach the next fair." Ava knelt. "You sure you have time with all your fans?" "I'll make time," Noah said, then looked at Owen. "We always do now, right?" Owen wrapped an arm around him. "Right." The trio walked toward the parking lot together. And though nothing about this path had been easy, it finally felt right. Bar by bar, step by step, love had found its shape again. The first shipment of Clean Start kits left the community center on a foggy Thursday morning. Stacked in the back of Owen's SUV were rows of recycled boxes, each packed with handmade soap bars, recipe cards, and a tiny note that read, "Made with hope," built with hands that once felt forgotten. As he drove toward the East Side shelter, Noah sat in the passenger seat, legs swinging, cradling the very first bar he ever made. The sea-scented one. "I never gave this to anyone," Noah said quietly, turning the bar in his hands. "I thought I'd just keep it. You know, in case." "In case what?" Owen Sao asked. "In case I never met you." Owen's grip on the wheel tightened. "Noah, I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere." The boy smiled. "Then maybe it's time I give it to you." He held out the bar, faded now, edges worn but still carrying that clean, briny scent, like ocean air after a storm. Owen took it gently, emotion washing up faster than he could block. "It still smells like the beach," Noah added, "like that first day." They dropped off the kits at the shelter, then made one more stop, the empty lot off Harbor Avenue. The city had just approved the construction permit. In 6 months, this spot would be Clean Start Market, a permanent hub for kids' crafts, workshops, and pop-up stands. Ava met them there, blueprint tubes under one arm, hair pulled back in a casual ponytail. "You ready to see it?" Owen chuckled. "It's still just dirt and seagulls." "But you have to see it," she teased. "Close your eyes." He did. She led him forward, boots crunching on gravel. Okay, open. There, spray-painted on the plywood fence, was a mural, half-finished but bright. Kids holding soap bars, a giant heart in the center, and 3 smaller figures painted near the corner. Noah had drawn it. "We'll finish the mural together," Ava said, "at the grand opening." Owen stepped back, taking it all in. "How'd you pull this off?" "Local artist? $100 and a month of free lavender soap." Noah popped his head between them. "And I promised him a shout-out on our Instagram." Owen laughed. "You're a better marketer than half my team." They spent the afternoon sketching plans in the dirt, measuring space with sticks and shoes. Owen marked where the outdoor sink would go. Noah pointed to where the soap racks should sit. Ava paced out booth dimensions like a pro. By sundown, the sky was streaked with pink and gold. The breeze carried salt, rosemary, and something more, belonging. Noah stood near the mural, holding a paintbrush. "Look what I made, Dad." Owen came closer. The boy had added something new, a swirl of waves over the stick figure heads. Inside the waves were tiny dots, like bubbles rising from soap. "It means we're not just standing still," Noah said. "We're moving forward." Ava looked at Owen. He came up with that on his own. Owen nodded slowly. "He gets it." As the 3 of them packed up to leave, Owen slipped the sea-scented bar into his coat pocket. A symbol, a turning point, a reminder that some regrets don't vanish, but they can be rinsed clean. The market wasn't built yet. But the future, it was already unfolding. 1 bar, 1 bubble, 1 bond at a time. Carl didn't answer the door when Owen knocked. It was the following Friday, and the San Diego sky was bruised with cloud cover. Owen waited on the porch of Carl's luxury condo, holding a manila folder in one hand, and Noah's original sea-scented soap bar in the other. After a minute, the door creaked open. Carl appeared in sweats, looking rougher than usual. No wine glass, no smug grin. "You really don't know when to quit, do you?" Carl muttered. "I'm not here to fight," Owen said. "I'm here to give you one last chance to come clean. On your own." Carl scoffed. "Clean. Cute. That from your little soap apprentice?" Owen stepped inside, uninvited. "We both know the board's minutes go public next week. You've already lost your seat. But if you come forward willingly, return the money, maybe you save yourself a lawsuit." Carl flopped into a chair. "You think I care about saving face now?" Owen walked over and placed the folder on the table. Inside, final audit summaries, a signed statement from Ava, and an internal email Carl thought he'd deleted. "I'm not doing this for revenge," Owen said. "I'm doing it because my son deserves to grow up knowing truth wins." Carl stared at the folder. "I let greed define me," he muttered. "But you're no saint, Owen." "No," Owen replied, "but I'm trying to be better. That's more than you ever tried." He pulled out the soap bar, now slightly dulled from being carried so long. He placed it next to the folder. "This?" Owen said. "This is what started it. A 10-year-old made something honest, and it wrecked all your lies." Carl looked at it, then away. Owen stepped back. "The mural goes up next week, and Clean Start's launch event is in 2. You're not invited, but you'll see the coverage." Carl didn't respond. Owen left without slamming the door. Later that day, Owen found Noah and Ava at the future Clean Start site, where scaffolding hugged the outer frame and kids painted base coats along the fence mural. Noah ran up, hands stained with teal. "We added bubbles to the heart." Owen smiled. "Perfect touch." Ava looked up from her clipboard. "How'd it go with Carl?" "He's not fighting. I think he's done running." She nodded. "That's something." "Hey, Dad," Noah called, holding up a new soap bar. This one swirled with navy and gray. "Want to name this one?" Owen took it, inhaled the scent, cedar and something ocean deep. "How about Truth Tide?" Noah nodded. That works. They spent the afternoon together, painting, wrapping, planning. Ava worked beside Owen at the booth design station, marking out shelves and hooks for displays. "You ever imagine this?" she asked, eyes on the chalk lines. Owen shook his head. "Not even close, but I'm grateful it happened." She smiled, brushing chalk dust off his sleeve. As the sun set, the sky turned soft gold over the coast. Kids blew bubbles by the parking lot while volunteers laughed over paint spills. Noah sat on the curb, legs crossed, humming while he carved designs into fresh soap molds. Owen joined him, handing over a cup of juice. "You've created something powerful, Noah." Noah shrugged. "I just wanted people to feel better." "You made me feel better," Owen said. "Me too," Noah replied. Owen looked toward the rising beams of their future building. "Next week, the mayor cuts the ribbon. Cameras, news crews. You nervous?" Noah smiled. "Only if you're not standing next to me." Owen placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "I wouldn't be anywhere else." And under the glow of porch lights and possibility, they sat side by side, soap curing on the table, the scent of sea and cedar in the air. Truth had surfaced, and it smelled a lot like redemption. Saturday morning arrived with coastal fog blanketing San Diego's shoreline, but the lot at Harbor Avenue buzzed like sunshine had already broken through. Vendors lined up early, setting up wooden stands painted in soft blues and pastels. Volunteers unboxed crates of soap bars, lotions, and art supplies. And in the center, beneath a banner that read, "Clean Start Community Market," a large white tent shaded a small stage. Owen stood near the entrance, adjusting a stack of brochures on a welcome table. He wore jeans, sneakers, and a navy polo. The first time in years he'd ditched a suit for something that felt human. Ava approached, clipboard in one hand, a lavender sprig tucked behind her ear. 97 RSVPs, 3 school buses from East County, and Channel 5 just parked across the street, she said, breathless but smiling. Owen raised an eyebrow. "And Noah?" "Finishing final labels," she said. "You should see what he called your soap line." Before Owen could respond, a familiar voice rang out. "Dad, we need more ribbon." Owen turned as Noah ran up, a roll of twine around his neck like a medal. "I renamed your soap bars," he grinned. "Hope Hustle, Balance Boss, and Deep Regret Detox." Owen laughed. "Guess I deserve that last one." Noah handed him a sample, swirled with charcoal and mint, labeled in bright Sharpie. It smelled sharp, clean, honest. Owen slipped it into his pocket. "This one's staying with me." Guests arrived in waves. Local kids sold handmade candles, bracelets, even poems. A small band played acoustic jazz near the mural wall, now finished with bursts of color, sea bubbles, and smiling faces. The heart in the center gleamed with layered brushstrokes. Owen's and Noah's names were painted in tiny cursive along the lower right edge. At noon, Owen took the stage. He stood behind the mic, not as CEO of a biotech empire, but as a father, neighbor, and learner. "This market isn't about soap," he began. "It's about giving kids the tools to turn small ideas into something lasting, something clean, something good." Applause rippled. He paused, reached into his pocket, and held up the sea-scented bar Noah had given him weeks earlier. "This," he said, voice catching, "was the first gift my son gave me. I carry it everywhere, not for the smell, though it's perfect, but because it reminds me of what I almost lost." He glanced at Noah in the front row. "I let fear, pride, and other people's lies guide my choices. But this bar, it washed that away, one layer at a time." The crowd stood silent, hanging on every word. "I believe every child deserves the space to create, to heal, to build something with their hands. That's what this market is for, and it starts today." Thunderous applause broke out. As the music resumed and kids swarmed the booths, Ava stepped beside Owen, brushing his arm. "You really meant every word," she whispered. "Every single one," he said, eyes still scanning the happy chaos. Noah tugged at his elbow. "Hey, there's someone I want you to meet." He led Owen to a girl about his age, dark curls and shy smile. She held a small tray of soaps, each shaped like shells. "This is Mia. She's new. She didn't know how to make soap, so I taught her." Mia looked up. "He said everyone starts with one bar, then you keep going." Owen knelt. "That's a great motto." Mia grinned. "He said you helped build this. Thank you." Owen looked at Noah, then Mia. "You two are going to build a lot more than just soap." And as he stood, he saw them. Dozens of kids, families, neighbors, gathered beneath the banner, each one holding something made with care. The Clean Start Market wasn't just an idea anymore. It was a legacy, crafted with suds, stories, and second chances. Late afternoon sun bathed the beach in gold, casting long shadows across the sand where 3 figures stood at a folding table. Owen rolled up his sleeves, hands dusted with powdered lye. Ava knelt beside a crate of oils, sorting scents. And Noah, goggles too big for his face, stirred a pitcher of swirling color. It was their first family workshop, held not in a lab or a center, but beneath open sky and sea breeze. "Today's blend," Noah declared, "is lemon zest, rosemary, and ocean salt. We're calling it New Shoreline." Owen raised a brow. "You just made that up?" "Obviously." Noah grinned. "It's how soap artists work." They poured the mix into shell-shaped molds, watching the colors curl and settle. Ava glanced up. "Remember when we were this age, mixing up our own soda recipes at the pier?" Owen chuckled. "Yeah, yours were all sugar and regret." "But memorable," she smirked. Noah leaned closer. "Wait, you two were kids together?" Owen nodded. "High school sweethearts. We used to come here and dream about having a stand at the pier." Noah looked around. "We kinda do now." He was right. Nearby, a chalkboard sign read, "Clean Start by the Sea. Small batch soaps, big hearts." A couple walked by and bought 2 bars, asking if they could take a picture with the artists. After they left, Owen stood in the sand, holding one finished bar in his palm. Smooth, cool, lemon bright. Noah looked up. "You okay, Dad?" Owen nodded slowly. "Just thinking how different this feels from every boardroom I've ever been in." Ava smiled gently. "That's because it's not about ownership here. It's about presence." The breeze kicked up, sending a bottle cap spinning across the sand. Noah chased it, laughing, while Owen and Ava stood together, silence full of meaning. "You think we could keep building this?" Owen asked quietly. Ava turned to him. "The market? Or us?" "Maybe both," he said, "if it feels right." She didn't answer right away. Instead, she pulled something from her pocket, a tiny cloth bag tied with twine. She handed it to him. Inside, a soap bar, sea-scented, familiar. He looked up, startled. "You kept it?" he asked. "I never sold it," she said. "It was the first bar Noah ever made, the one he named after you, before he ever met you." Owen's throat tightened. "I think he always hoped you'd find your way back," Ava whispered. "I just didn't think you would." "I almost didn't," he said. "But that little voice at the market, it broke something open." Noah returned, winded, cheeks pink. "Can we make bubble mix now, please?" They nodded. Minutes later, the beach was scattered with drifting bubbles. Big ones, tiny ones, all dancing in the light. Owen dipped the wand and blew, a long stream rising above them. Noah twirled, shouting, "This one's for forgiveness. That one's for starting over." Owen caught a bubble on his fingertip and smiled. And this one's for never walking away again. Ava watched them, hands tucked into her sleeves. Then she stepped forward, wrapped one arm around Owen and the other around Noah. And for the first time in years, they stood as one. Waves rolled in. The wind hummed through the dunes, and the sun, just kissing the horizon, lit up the final scene like a promise. 3 silhouettes, making soap by the sea. Bubbles rising toward a sky wide enough to hold every second chance.